Hello everyone, I am Rod and I am the game design instructor for the Academy of Entertainment Arts over at Dixie Hollands High School. If you are one of my students, it's Mr. Flowers to you, and welcome to this video tutorial. Okay, and we're back. So in the last video we went ahead and made this very simple kind of stick figure sort of character. And we have, this is a 512 by 512 image split in half, and then we have the front pose on one and the side pose on the other. Now when we're making anything for box modeling for like a character or whatever, you can have more reference images, but you want to make sure that they line up with each other. So I'm going to jump over into Maya here. And first thing I want to do is set up my image planes. Now you can do that in a dozen different ways. You can go to View and Image Plane and drop these in. I don't use that method. I typically do it this way. I create an image plane by creating a polygon plane. Drop that in. And I'm going to make my plane big enough so that I can work on it. Since I know that my image planes are 512 by 256, I am going to set up my height. I'll do 51 tall, and I'll do 25 wide. And that's assuming that Z is front. So if you look down here, my axis, my Z is my front. So there is my character. He'll be this tall. If we're going into Unreal, you want to make sure that your units are ideal. So at this particular juncture, our character is pretty short. He's only 51 centimeters tall. The average person is about 170 centimeters tall. And then the last thing I want to do is I want to get rid of these subdivisions here. So you can see like each one of these on this plane here, we have all these different cuts. These are our subdivisions. That's going to be hard to work on. So let's go over to where it says Inputs Polyplane, and we're going to drop this down to 1 and 1. If we don't do this, it's just going to be in our way. You can keep it that way if you like. I just don't like seeing them. Come up to rendering. Where are you at? There you are. I'm going to drop on a Lambert here. And I'm going to name this image plane. And then I will add my texture. So File, navigate to my game design folder, simple character. Go ahead and open that. And I will press 6 on the keyboard to bring it up. And there he is. Awesome, awesome. I'm going to select this plane. I'm going to press Control D to duplicate. And I will move this off. And on the new plane, I'm going to go up to UV Editor. And you can see how our UVs are already nice and cut on a 256 grid. I'm just going to go ahead and select those. So UV mode, select all of them. And I'm just going to slide that over to there. If you want to be precise, you can snap these. You can grab them, hold down the X key, and then snap them to the end. That depends on your OCD, but you don't have to. So long as that UV panel is covering, and you can see you have your front and your side there. I'm going to close that, go back into object mode. You can right click and go to object mode, or you can press F8, either works. Now I want to stand these up so that they are facing correctly. Let's go to our channel box, and you can name these if you like. So I'll say front plane, and then side plane, and I'm going to rotate the front one 90 degrees in the X, so he's standing upright. I'm also going to do that to our side plane, so 90 degrees in the X. Both of these, I want them to be standing on the grid. Right now they're halfway through the grid, so to pull those up, I can just go halfway through the height. So we know our height is as 51, right? So that would be, what is that, like 25.5? So 25.5 in the Y. Should put them right up there. And then on our plane that's facing to the left here, I'm just going to turn that 90 degrees in the Y. So there we go. Now a thing that you might notice is the front of our character is facing to the Z, but our character on the side panel is facing away from the Z, right? So that means I have to flip this, but I can't just turn it around because there's nothing on the other side of the plane. So what I can do is I can go into the UVs here, so UV editor, and I can select the UVs, and then up here there's a little sailboat, that looking thing, looks like a sailboat. If I hit that, it'll flip the UVs. You can see on the panel, now he's facing forward. Go back to object mode, and I will select that. And I'll simply move these out of the way, because right now they're where I want to model. So I'm just going to move this off the grid somewhere, so I just can't touch it. Okay. And assuming everything's in the center, we should be good. I'm also, just because of the way that I did this, I'm going to be modeling on this side of my character, but I took all my measurements on my other side, so I will also flip this one. So go into my UVs here, and you don't have to flip it if yours is perfect. Mine is not perfect, so I'm just going to flip those like that. Because this is the side I'm going to use as my model reference. Lastly, I want to set these so I can't touch them. So select them both, make sure you're in your channel box, come down to display layers, and create layer from selected. I'll just call this image plane layer. You can see these little boxes here. V is visibility, and then there's a little unchecked box over here. That's going to go to reference. So set it to R for reference, and you cannot mess with these accidentally, which is going to be a lifesaver, because when you're trying to model and you accidentally click on your plane, it's kind of annoying. Now that we have this set up, we're going to go ahead and save this scene. So File, Save As, and I'm going to say simple character, and I will say this as 0, 0, because this is my starting point. This is where I just have my image planes set up. I have nothing else going on. It's good to save in iterations. You can see from my file saves all these things here. I save in iterations because if you mess up or something crashes, you can always go back to a previous work and you're not too far off. So save smart, save often, and save in iterations. So simple character 0, 0, my first one. Okay, so that's going to cover it for this video. In the next video, we're going to start modeling. And I will see you guys next time.